Shalom.
Shalom.
First, we'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakadash. But honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful lake, the house of David. I'm the brother Halak, and to my left,
Brother Ida.
we coming to you with another daily lesson, forward thinking, because that's what you're going to have to be, we got to be forward thinking, thinking about things above, thinking about things to come, you know, to keep you wet, to keep you going, keep you motivated. You basically giving yourself the carrot on the stick, you know. Hey, the tree, the goal, the gift is above, it's in front of me, you know.
It's ahead of me.
You say?
No, I'm saying it's ahead of us. And ultimately making decisions, wisely, and thinking about, how can I what are things I can do to set myself up for the best way possible, the spirit, for the best way possible for y'all by Shabbat when it comes to the things that are to come and not the level, and our, uh, our perfect example, of that from, you know, our forefather Jacob, in the field, Esau, the red pottage, Esau so blessed, Esau was thinking like, ain't gonna do nothing for me right now. Jacob was looking into the future, he was forward thinking. Okay, get there real quick. Genesis 25, 25 started at verse 29. And Jacob saw pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. Verse 30. Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with this same red pottage. But Esau is asking for the raw meat. It ain't even cooked yet. Devil like his food, tartar. He like his meat still clean and shit. Rare, medium rare. You want shit great. Like, like Esau,
Yeah.
It basically is food. All right. It says, for I am faith. Therefore, the name is called Edom. Edom goes in the red man. So shit, Jacob was making fun of like tripping, you know. Verse 31. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. Okay? Ultimately, the birthright was set up for Jacob anyway. But the Lord had to play out, So, it played out the way it was supposed to. Lord, everything is predestinated. But the things have to unfold on how the Lord said they can unfold. So he started selling his birthright. Okay? Verse 33. And Jacob said, stretch me this day, and he swore unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then, verse 34, then Jacob gave Esau bread, pottage and lentils. And he did eat and drink and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. Okay? Esau was thinking in the moment, this is an exact replica of Eve Nichols. He got this shit from Esau. Thinking in the moment, you got thinking of the consequences. The decisions you make, how they're going to affect things. What's going to be domino effect of this decision? What's going to be domino effect of that decision? Count the cost. Esau like thinking of that. But again, Jacob gave us, forefather Jacob gave us, a great example of thinking ahead and not thinking in the now. Jacob was thinking, we're looking into the kingdom now. We're right at the doorstep. How much more thinking ahead was Jacob doing at that time?
You see, Esau, he was in the flesh, and Jacob was in the spirit. This is Matthew chapter 6, verse 19 to 21. Lay not up for yourselves treasure upon the earth, but lay up treasures in heaven, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. In your heart goes that word law, that means your mind. Your mind is on the now, 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 now. You're not thinking ahead. You're thinking in the moment. You know. You're not focused on the things that come. That's why when the things that come hit you, you're all confused. You're all disoriented. You know. Now we don't take care for it. You know. We leave it up. We leave it up to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. But we think upon it. We like, okay, if I'm going this way, I need to set myself up to get there. Now I'm ahead there, and everything else is gonna be up to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You know? This is you got some notes, I got some notes.
I got some good.
This is Second Ezra, chapter 7, verse 42. And he answered me and said, this present life is not the end where much glory abide. Therefore have they prayed for the weak,
Good.
See, this present life, what? This is not the end. There is something else coming. Something more what? Glorious. So how are you going to get yourself, how are you going to get to that glory point? Follow Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Make sure you're in the guidelines of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You're like, okay, this is coming. What do I need to do to get there? Yahweh Shem Yahushua gave us the instructions to get there. Forward thinking.
Good. Now I'll say real quick because when you're forward thinking, you're thinking about the things to come. Like if you like if you paying attention to the weather, when it start, still when the weather start coming around, now you gotta start preparing yourself for the weather. It's time to plot when it's time to plant. You gotta be paying attention. And you gotta be ahead. You gotta be ready when those times start to show. You gotta be ready. So man, you gotta be thinking. You gotta be ahead of the curve. I play chess, and a lot of other brothers play chess too. And brothers learn. They say you gotta play 5, 10, however, whatever your strategy is, however many moves you try to play ahead. What are you doing? You're thinking ahead of the game. You're thinking forward thinking. Okay, so Proverbs 10:4, he becoming poor that dealeth with a slack hand, and the hand of the diligent he make it rich. He that gathereth in the summer is a wise son, but he that sleepeth in harvest is a son that causeth shame. Okay, read that again, verse 5. That's the point. He that gathereth in the summer is a wise son. He that sleepeth in the harvest is a son that causeth shame. Okay. So if you sleeping throughout if you gathering in the summer, okay, man, it about to get cold. I gotta make sure, I got everything canned up. I gotta make sure I got my family, and the land, the enterprise, everything we got, I gotta make sure I'm preparing it for the winter. That's why I say he's a wise son. But he that sleeping during the harvest causes shame. If you sleeping during the harvest, you ain't got no food. You're gonna starve out this month. You're not thinking about that. Niggas ain't thinking about what they do now will affect them later. They like shit I get to when they get to. It don't work like that. That's not how life operates. That's not the wisdom of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. That's the wickedness and the stubborn and rebelliousness and the bullshit of Esau evil. That he gonna put on you niggas. You got it.
Kind. Well said, because if you ain't preparing, if you ain't prep, like, how they say, if you ain't sowing no seeds, you ain't gonna reap the harvest. And we're sowing seeds in the spirit. We're sowing seeds in the spirit. So what? In the time that Yahushua is gonna reap, we have something to gain. And that reaping is what? Them chariots.
You say scripture you just brought out about how we storing up our treasures in heaven. Meaning that we storing everything up and we're understanding. It's brother by young, it's probably shots like like you said, bro, we storing up our treasures in heaven. We looking ahead. We're not storing up, even in this time Niggas looking at how they can get rich during another pandemic or how they can get rich during another war or another crisis. So like worry about how they can get rich during another war or another crisis, you know. Brothers, if you can make a little money or whatever for best for your situation, that's cool.
Mm.
But ultimately, we're not looking to be here much longer. You know what I'm saying? Like we looking to pop smoke and then this motherfucker be out of Babylon. We're looking ahead. Like we like, okay, like whatever I can do for my situation is cool. You know, that's fine. But ultimately I'm looking until you have a shot. You know, and we can close out with that one in a second.
Okay.
You can go ahead, bro. You got something?
I think I'm gonna go get that.
Okay, I'll go that over for last. I got 2 more.
Oh, you got 2 more? You got it.
This is Ephesians 5. So that one the Hebrew 12.
Yeah.
This is Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 15. Seeing then you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. You know, when it means that you're walking circumspectly, it means you're walking diligently. You know, you're walking. You're paying attention to the things that are around you. You know, you're not deviating from the wisdom. You know, to the best of your ability, you're thinking about everything that you do, how you doing it, and the repercussions of that. You know, when you thinking ahead, you evaluating these things. Okay, man. Okay, like okay, how do I move with this in the spirit? You know, cause I move in the flesh with this shit. This here gonna cause this. You know, if I make this decision again, this gonna cause this. You know, we're evaluating these things. You know, we're looking at everything, and ultimately we had that perfect example from Yahweh Shai. But ultimately, especially in these times now, we gotta walk circumspectly. We gotta be able to pay attention to all the things that are around us. You know.
Okay. Cause what if you don't, you're gonna get caught off guard. You see all these people getting caught off guard by prophecy. They're caught off guard, even though it's been written for this book has been around for decades. People are getting caught off by the things that are written in it. You know, they're getting caught off by people becoming colder or WW3. You know, the way people are in the world. You know, they're getting caught off guard by this, and they finna get caught off guard by how bad it's going to get. Cause this war is gonna outdo every other war because it's about to get so bad. People lose their mind. They're gonna lose their moral.
Time like never before. I got that word circumspectly real quick. It says in a careful and prudent way. When I think of that, match it with a precept. Proverbs 12 and 16. A fool's wrath is presently known, but a prudent man covers shame. This one I was looking for. Proverbs 14 and 15. The simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well into his goings. You know, when you're looking at well into get going, you're paying attention to your decisions. You know, you're paying attention to these things. Like, whenever I have situations, it's funny. He's in the spirit. There's a coin. I go and talk to the coin. I was like, bro, X, Y, Z. He be like, what could you have done better? You know, how could you have avoided this situation? Now we thinking ahead because when you start to think like that beforehand, it's like now you can avoid situations. You know, now you can avoid things. Now you can avoid putting yourself at risk, putting your family at risk. You know, you can avoid like this. You can avoid all the bullshit that Esau be having going on in Babylon. You know, because we being prudent, we being circumspect. We walking as wise and not as a fool. Walking as wise as forward thinking. Walking as a fool is thinking shit. Hey, look, I worry about it when I get to it. You know, like I'm just gonna make the decision. Now, fuck what Jake like to say. Fuck how I turn out. Okay, well the Lord gonna say fuck how I turn out for y'all with these nukes. You know.
Okay. With the Hebrews.
Let me get this last one because I match up with that one. 'Cause that's a good one. It's Philippians 3. 13 and 14, it says, brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting this one thing I do, and this is what Apostle Paul is saying. I forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forth unto the things which are before. Here's the point. I press towards the mark for the prize of the most high calling of the power in Hamashiach Yahushua. So Paul is basically saying, hey, I'm pressing forward towards what Yahweh Shem Yahushua got for me. You know? You go ahead, bro.
Okay. This is Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1. Wherefore, seeing we are also compassed about with a great cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with the patient and race that is set before us, looking unto Yahweh Shai, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh. You know, he sat down, he laid down everything to gain Yahweh, to gain the kingdom, He laid down everything. They always say looking unto Yahweh Shai. He laid it all down.
A perfect example.
Yep.
He's a perfect example. And he taught us the best way, okay. Cause what Yahweh Shai, he won, Adam, you got the guy with Eve, when he was Solomon, shit happened then. When he came back, he like, man, fuck all that. The kingdom on the line. So for 33 years, he was looking straight. He was thinking about nothing but the kingdom. He was thinking about nothing but the future. He was pressing toward their pride, ultimately giving us the great example.
Okay.
I know you got a great 57.
Okay. So, hey, that was a great point, So, hey, you got to be forward thinking, especially in these times. Think on the kingdom. Think about what's coming, Because this world is at an end. It's closing. And you can't go back and place all replay. You can't do none of that. Nah.
Ain't no rewind.
Ain't no rewind. So with that, we hope you was edified. Again, we're gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Kakadash, the honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, peace and blessings to the whole elect the house of David. Until next time, Yahweh willing, shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.